Hi everyone, and welcome to Rising in Truth, Life, Health and Conspiracy. Today I want to talk a little bit about manifesting, the power of visualization and releasing illusion and connecting to divine consciousness. Now I want to talk about these things in the sense of using it for good or for bad. So when we are in the power of visualizations, when we start to center ourselves and get right with our intentions in what we want in life, there's always good and bad. Like we have that yin yang on the planet. So we know there's, evil type of people with loads of money, pretty much the whole money of the world. And they use the same manifesting and visualization tools that we are. They sit there and they journal and they write down what it is that what they want. They get together in their meetings, they're strategizing on a daily basis, making plans for the things that they want. So they use the same things as that, people, therapists, or people who want to better themselves can go online and have a look. And they are the same tools. So they use hypnosis in their patent technology through mainstream media, through the television. So the television has like 15 patent technologies connected with it in how it can implement subliminal messages, how it can change around our nervous system. And so this is why the inventor of the television never had one in his house once he found out what the government was planning to use the television for. So it's amazing technology. It's just not used for the betterment of humanity and for us. And it can, of course, manipulate our thought processes as well as our nervous system, etc. And you can look up those patent technologies if you're interested in researching. So we can also, so then therapists can also use hypnosis in a way to help people to release bad habits, to help with trauma or deep embedded negative self-talk. So, we can use that deep relaxation of meditation again to help to clear and heal the body, to clear our energy systems and our energy centers. So these people at the top, they understand all of this. They understand this, we call it witchcraft. They were the original witchcraft. Even the pointy hat come from this tribe of people that are actually running the world right now. And they're really good at their tribal nepotism and investigating and using witchcraft, or if you want to call it black magic or ancient technology and black magic. But it's nothing new. It's something that everyone has access to. So we actually can go beyond this ancient technology because it's just ancient now. But what they're doing with it is they've helped to maneuver things in a way that benefit them and make it hard for the average person to actually see a way out. And not only that, we've become so comfortable in our conveniences, in our way of life, that it's even hard for us to follow through things we need to do that could help us. So even with what's been happening these last 2 years, there's a lot of stress on people. Some people have lost their jobs, etc. But sometimes these people don't want to look at, okay, maybe I need to sell my house and downsize. Some people will want to stay in that house, the attachments to it, the attachment to the house, to materialism, to that physical form. And they're not getting into the spiritual essence of who they are, and that house doesn't mean anything. It's not what represents us. Like when we leave our existence in the physical body, and look, our physical existence is extremely important, because when we're here on earth, we're able to use all our senses. We're able to taste and feel and make love and swim in the ocean and walk on the sand and get our feet dirty and be part of nature. It's things that we cannot do in the spiritual realm. This is why being here in the physical form is so unique, and also why our physical aspect of ourselves is extremely intricate and very magnificent. We're just not taught about it. So imagine for a minute, with all the information that I've had to learn on my own, and because I am highly intuitive. So I was always getting information out. I mean, I died twice when I was little. I came, they brought me back to life, of course, because I'm still here. And so I've always had this stronger intuitive ability where I'm very in tune with nature. I'm very in tune with frequency changes. I'm very in tune with all of that. But I didn't have anyone to teach me these things. It's not something that we were taught at school. So I have my moments where I sit there and I think, imagine if the kids growing up, if we taught our children these things, if we taught our children how to clear the energy systems, how to clear the energy fields, clear the energy fields of judgments, of heaviness, we can transmute that energy by clearing with that intention. So imagine if the kids had all this information, what a magnificent world we live in. And now a lot of people believe we need technology to live longer, but that's not true. If we are in our center and we're not stressed, we can actually, and by doing the right things and of course eating the right things, but really it's about the right mindset, we can live longer. But we are bombarded with a lot of toxic poisons in our food, in our air, in the water that we drink, the medication that people take. I mean, it's just everywhere. So with today's podcast, what I want to get clear is that there is a huge power in our visualization and in manifesting. But you have to understand that the so-called the yin yang, the evil, the other side of it, they actually use it. As I said earlier, they strategize. They're in constant ritual and ceremony. They are planning. They have their meetings, the G20, G8, G7s, their IMF meetings, the banker meetings, the Bilderberg meetings. I mean, they're constantly meeting, talking about ways to destroy nations, to take the wealth of nations, to own everything, to bring in the Marxist communist agenda, to take us even further away from our capabilities and our magnificence. And that's really sad. That's really sad for me. And that's very hard for me too. I do feel a lot of anger at times with this. I feel anger in them taken away, the last 2 years of my life and all my plans and, the things I was supposed to do and achieve and be. And I'm sure that's with everybody. And so now we've got to make new plans and new dreams. And yet there's a lot of anxiety with that. I mean, it's Christmas time now. People even anxious to even just go interstate to visit family because, the border's going to close again. And, what's going to happen there? So there's a lot of anxiety. And so if you were to tune into the field, you can feel that anxiety, you can feel that anger, you can feel a lot of dark attachments coming for that anger and that confusion. Suicide rate is extremely high and people are just not feeling it's worth living anymore. So in a way, we're giving our power away, which gives power to the other end of town that want to control us. And not only that, even they've got this transhumanistic agenda they want to bring out. Now, I'm not against technology when it's used for good, but I am against technology when it's used to override our natural system. And without the human biological, machine and aspect of us, they couldn't even create the stuff they are creating. So to me, their artificial intelligence, their beast system is their artificial God to see, hear, and know everything when we've already got our connection to divine consciousness. We've already got a collective consciousness, and they're even trying to get rid of that through frequencies, phone towers, the satellites in the sky, all of the HARP and weather modification machines. They're trying to really make us feel so alone and so separated. And this is why we're seeing depression and suicide increase. I mean, depression in this 20th and 21st century, the fact it's basically the highest dis-ease on this planet is a huge phenomena and should not be happening. And we can see, the rare bits of civilization that are still connected to the earth and aren't connected to this system, like the mainstream media and what we have to deal with on a daily basis, being bombarded with things. People who are living in nature more, they're happier. They may not have as much. Some of them do have a lot. Some of them have not, but it doesn't matter. They're in nature. They're in touch with themselves. They're waking up in the morning and they're just breathing fresh air and they're feeling good because they can be who they are. So this is just a little reminder that you are powerful, even in the little things, your everyday things, even though there's a big things going on right now. It's the little things that really do make a difference. And if everyone is remembering how powerful they are and the little things that they can manifest every day, then all of that adds up. So there was an interesting, it was another podcast I was listening to, and it was I think he was a professor. Anyway, he spent decades studying, human behavior and researching human psychology. And he was saying with what's happening today, it's a repeat of what has happened in the past. And I've said that too. It's that they're using the same game plan. There's nothing really that's changed. And they're using the same game plan because it continues to still work, because people are continuing to fall for it. So whenever they've overtaken, because the same set of people that are doing this are the same set of people that have destroyed all nations on this planet, taken over those nations with this same psychological manipulation that we're seeing today. And he was saying that statistically, it ends up being like about 30% that totally believe what they're being told and that it's for real and legit. Then there's about 40% that just go along, even though they know it's not real. These are your fence sitters and, whatever. They don't really want to fight. They're just going along to get along. And then you have your 10, 20% that are not able to be hypnotized with this propaganda. It's usually those 10, 20% that are the ones that, end up getting murdered and killed. So if you look at history and at wartime, it is the academics, it is the patriots, it is the historians, it is, the smart people that ended up being killed and murdered. So are we going to let that happen again today? I really think we shouldn't be. And whether you've gone along and you've gotten the jab or the shot, whatever you want to call it, if you know people that haven't had it, then you need to protect those people that haven't had it. You need to protect choice. We are all born with free will. This universe is neutral. And this is why manifesting and the power of visualization and the power of our intentions is very important, because if your intentions, even for yourself, let's bring it down to an individual level, even for yourself, if you're someone that's always thinking a lot of negative thoughts, you're always thinking you're never good enough, you're always going to introduce situations into your life that continue to justify that conclusion you have for yourself that you're not good enough. So the same if you're someone that always says that, you always have bad relationships. Every relationship is bad. You'll continue to have bad relationships to justify that conclusion for yourself, so that you can turn around and say, yeah, see, I always have bad relationships. See, good things don't happen to me. I mustn't be good enough. And this is where it's important to work with a therapist or a healer or a coach, someone that can really help you to change your mindset and change the way your self-dialogue is, the way you're talking to yourself, so that you can start to move through, but also understanding maybe the traumas, like where did that come from? Where did that I don't feel good enough come from? Where does the always having bad relationships come from? Where's, is there a lack of self-love here? Is there a lack of self-worth here? And how can we change that? Because that's how we grow as individuals. And then once we look at those situations, then you'll start to introduce new situations into your life, and hopefully things that you really do want. So this is how powerful it is. Every day our bodies and our mind is talking to each other. Every day our bodies naturally are designed to keep us alive for as long as possible. So our bodies are constantly doing what they need to do to heal and keep us going, without us being consciously aware of it. We're not directing our white or red blood cells to go where it needs to go, and we're not consciously directing toxins out of our body. Our body is just doing that naturally. Of course, if we were to tune into our body and we start to send the intention of healing in our body, sending the intention that our body can release those toxic cells with ease, then we definitely will help that. This is something that they empower, don't want you to know, in how powerful your mind is and how powerful our intentions are. So I've witnessed many miracles. There's a lot of therapists out there that have witnessed many miracles in the work they've done with people, especially the energetic field. So we shouldn't just dismiss that. But we tend to dismiss it. We tend to even dismiss the good things, like maybe we thought of something and then it ends up manifesting in our life. There's a lot of people that dismiss it as just a mere coincidence and not taking credit for the fact that they help to bring that into their existence. So there is an affirmation that I use a lot with my clients and is written in one of my books, and I've actually got it as a wall art now, a frame, affirmation frame, and it says, where thoughts go, energy flows. So the more you think about something, the more you amplify it, be it positive or negative. And that is correct because the universe is neutral. We have free will here. So it's up to us what we do and how we use that free will. So those at the top with all this power continue to destroy nations and have murdered millions upon millions of people, and they keep getting away with it. There's been no reprimand to these people. And this is why they're extremely confident in what they are doing now and why the World Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum was created to destroy the economy of worlds for their great reset. So a reset has to happen. So it's up to us where we're going to take it. Will we, the people, reset the world the way we want? Or will we allow these people to reset it the way they want, which is basic communism? You're not going to own, you own nothing, be happy. They're already ready to take your properties. They're already creating legislation for that. They've already created legislation with the bail-in laws. So they're already 10 steps ahead in what it is they want to manifest the world to be. And they've even got a timeline for it. So Agenda 21 means the 21st century, the agenda for the 21st century. So these people have already, and we know that writing is spelling, right? Spells, words are spells. They've written it all. That's why they love their paperwork. They love their little dirty little signatures on everything. The same way that a therapist might tell you to journal things or write an anger letter, and then you destroy that anger letter, or write a vision board, or write down your ideas and what you want for life. So you can see that these tools can be used for good or for bad. But at the end of the day, the universe is neutral. How much power is put in one, how much power is put on the other. So even though we know what's happening is unfair and not right, and people are being coerced and blackmailed into things they don't, things they have to do, things they don't want to do, the universe is neutral. It's not the universe's fault. It's not God's fault. It comes down to us. We need to look at ourselves. What part are we playing in this? If we go along with what these evil people want, like we call them evil, but they're just living their whatever. And it's generational. When you look into these people and you look into their family structure, these people are just taking on the family business. And they're actually buying up property and land everywhere because that's the real estate. That's the real wealth, the real estate. That's what's called real estate. Money is fiat. It's fake. It's not even worth it, so because it's not backed by anything at the moment. So for them, they're buying up properties everywhere. They're buying up farms everywhere. Kill Bill Gates is the biggest farm owner in America right now. What does he need to do with farms? But that's the real estate, because that's how they can dictate to the people. So yes, we need a completely new system. But do you want to live in the system that they want? Or do you want to live in a system where there's still freedom, where you can still have your own property? Maybe everything, we need to look at everything and change it. Even the monetary system and how all that works. There definitely needs to be forgiveness of debt. There needs to be a forgiveness of debt, but having central power with a digital currency where they can actually delete your account if you don't go along with what they want you to do, that's not fair either. So, and our politicians, let's face it, they are criminals. They're in public, service and the public office for self-interest. A lot of them may be groomed into their roles as well. And they are the frontline puppets for, the people who really do run our country, which are the banks, because our countries are bankrupt. So with today's podcast, it's about understanding how we manifest, and that it can go either way. But I do believe that if the people come together, and we have seen when there's been group meditations done in certain countries and areas, there's crime rate that goes down. So when we send out our intention, we can manifest something, amazing and powerful. So you can visualize the world being the place you want it to be. I've been saying that for the last 15, 20 years, recommending people before you go to bed, just spend a few seconds to visualize the world you want, and coming together with like-minded people, of course, will help. But not everyone is ready to face the real truth about who and what is running the world. Some people are ready for bitter truth. Some people are not ready for the full truth. I, for myself, when I get information from spirit or God, whatever you want to call it, I cannot deny that information. And I don't want to sugarcoat that information. I actually feel an obligation to share the truth about that information. And I still actually pull back a lot in, in sharing a lot of what comes through for me, but more so in a personal setting, I will share more and I will say, okay, it's this is what I was shown, and this is where all the dots come from me. But this is, many, many, many years of me sitting and asking and praying to see the truth in all situations. So, and putting those dots together. And it can be a lot. It can be a lot for someone to take in, and not everyone's ready for that, and that's okay. So usually I pull my energy away from people or groups and that aren't really ready for the truth yet. They just want the sugar-coated sort of truth, and they want to believe that their voting still counts and there's still a political solution, and they want to continue with all that petitions, protests, and et cetera, which there's nothing wrong with that, and I don't want to pull people away from those things. But the only political solution we have is if people literally go back in and take back their parliament, which is the people's parliament. And so, and if there was, any political solution, the only political party I would go for in Australia would be the GAP parties. That's Great Australia Party, just because Rod knows what's going on, and he's the only senator that's been sworn in properly. And I agree with him in bringing back the Constitution and getting rid of foreign ownership, especially the Federal Reserve, which is creating a lot of the trouble. So him and even Senator Reddick, they talk about the bureaucrats and the foreign interests that are running the government, and basically the politicians don't go along with the new agendas, the new legislations that's coming through. They're intricately linked with mainstream media, so then they'll just make up some story and put down that politician to kick them out or whatever. So they get rid of the good people. So, but the good people can take it back. And maybe that's something we can visualize, people taking back their parliament, taking back their public office, and, and we bring back what we want. I don't believe what they're telling us, that this planet is overpopulated, or that Earth cannot look after all of us. That is a lie. We have non-toxic solutions for all industries. These big industries will continue to pollute no matter how many Paris Accord things are signed or climate change stuff is signed. They will continue to pollute, and they'll continue to use as much water as they want, because they don't care about Earth. They pretend to care, and what they do is guilt trip people, make you feel bad for having a shower and driving to work every day, while they use 50 Olympic-sized swimming pools of fresh water a day for their toxic industries. And then they don't even collect their toxic offshoot of whatever it is they're building. And we've seen a lot of pollution happen because they don't store the pollution properly. So, and when we have non-toxic solutions, we should be using it. I mean, there was electric cars back in the early 1900s. I mean, you look at the architecture and the knowledge our ancestors had, we can't even make those buildings today. So there's a lot missing. There's a lot missing to the equation. There's a lot missing in our education system, which has become pure indoctrination, where people just follow instead of being brought up to be free thinkers. So again, imagine if our children were brought up to be free thinkers, to follow and pursue the things that they are really interested in, to be taught about competition, to be taught about being a leader, to be taught about graciousness, to be taught about being interested in what everyone has to say and bring to the table, to really be a team player. So, that would be great. And yet all we're seeing is this push for, the transgender, the transhumanism, everyone passes, and I think that's really detrimental. Children need to play, and we learn through earth. There's a reason why we were born with a bit of amnesia, and it's up to us. We can bring back that information if we choose to, and it is a lot. It's a lot of information, and we don't have that wise men and women. We're not having the medicine, where we used to, once upon a time, where the young would learn from the elders. Now, now it's sort of push them into school, Now they've got 3-year-old kinder. I mean, just getting the kids out of the home and the family structure, and yet everyone's yearning and craving for that. Everyone wants the village. Everyone wants the community. So let's manifest what we want, and let's understand that we do have power in that. And there are other suggestions that I've given to clients over the years, and even in my book, Awareness of Self is the First Step to Success, which is a personal development program. In there, I even suggest to people in manifesting your day, like before you get out of bed, just spend a moment and just visualize your day panning out the way you want. And that's what I started to do going back, 30 odd years ago. And I would visualize getting to work, all the lights would be green, I'd have a great day, I wouldn't have any bad customers, and I'd really visualize and see it, happening. And then it would happen. But if I was in a stress-filled state, if I was feeling, not good, and if I didn't take the time to center myself and sort of prepare for my day, and part of that is, sending that visualization, that intention for my day, then, it doesn't sort of work out that way. But if I send a bit of an intention, then not only does it work out, but I actually even get extra spontaneous, and extra opportunities will come as well. So it's really interesting how it may feel like more work, but it's but once you do it and then you let go, and you have even more come into your field. So it's just the same if you're feeling very angry and you're not feeling really connected. You start to find yourself around people as well that are very confusing or angry, or low level type of stuff. So, and it's a good point to, when you find yourself there, to just pull yourself back and lift your resonance up and your frequency up a little bit. So visualization, manifesting, it is one of the tools that you're born with. It is something you can use. If more of us use it together, even better. And because then we can really bring the world that we want. And I'm fighting for that. I'm fighting for a better world. I don't have anything against technology as long as we're in charge of it and it's used for betterment and not used the way that they want to use it in spying and surveillance and all the rest of it. I'm not interested in their artificial God that sees, hears, and knows everything. I think we deserve to have some privacy. We deserve to have that privacy so we can learn and grow and realize who we are. But what I am inspired about is seeing so many people coming together, teachers and nurses and people who've lost their jobs, builders, like people are coming together and they're building a new community. They are building new avenues, for their children and for their families. And that's really inspiring. So don't be too attached to the material things. If you need to downsize to get out of debt, then do that. Don't be attached. The memories are within you. You can never lose those memories. But I'm not attached to anything around me. I love all the things that I have, but I'm not attached to it. And this is something we all need to come to. We need to be grateful for the things that we have, but learning to live with less, learning to let go of those things, and really come into your heart and your center and follow your intuition. Talk with Great Spirit, talk with God, talk to your higher self, whatever you feel comfortable with, and ask and listen and be guided. Because even when this happened, this COVID operation happened 2 years ago, I did say to people, don't let them lock us down because they won't let us out, which has happened. I did, say all the things that are happening now. And I did suggest to people that life is going to be completely different. So let go of the things that you're attached to and do what you need to do. If you need to downsize, move your family somewhere smaller, do that. You need to move out of the cities, do that. I know it can be hard because people have responsibilities, they have family to look after or whatever. That can be difficult, but it doesn't mean that you as well can't continue to create miracles. Even in that situation, you can. So believe in your own power, believe in your power of manifestation, believe in your power of visualization, and believe that you are looked after, because that is the most powerful. And I've seen miracles, I've witnessed miracles, I've gone through it myself, and I know that everyone has that capability too. So reach out to therapists if you need. You can reach out to me if you want to learn more and you want to have that better relationship with yourself, if you want to have more understanding of your habits and behaviors, and maybe even bringing in those magical tools and techniques that are yours, that you're born with, so that you can connect with the divine consciousness, so that your actions are coming from a place of manifesting. We have a lot of anger right now. A lot of people get anger. I've had a lot of anger. I don't like it because it's not me. And I'm working on it. And I'm working on it as well. And just by coming back to my center, at the same time, I've got to feel it. And at the same time, I'm also going through premenopausal stuff. So even my hormones all over the place. So I'm working on that too. So it's not an excuse for my behavior, but I'm learning and I'm working on it. And that's all we can do. Like I said, there's so much thrown at us, so many toxins and poisons all around us, that we have to maneuver through a lot. And all of us that are doing that, I honor everyone that's doing that. I honor and I'm inspired by everyone that has that strong will and is really even keeping up with their fitness and stuff. I've emotionally, this has taken a huge toll on me, just witnessing what I'm witnessing with people. And I don't think I've been looking after myself as much as I should. And so I'm slowly bringing that back into my daily practice and really coming into my center a little bit more, because I let myself go and it was just too much. I was, too much worried about everyone else, and I've got to just come back into me. I can't worry about everyone else. I've got to also look after me first, so then I can be of service to others even better. And that's for all of us, and it is all about the awareness. So when we have that awareness, when we become the observer of our thoughts, of our actions, then we can start to see the patterns and we can start to change it. And then we can start to manifest something better for ourselves. So let's continue to remind each other as well as ourselves that, until our last breath, let's just keep manifesting a better world, and keep sending that intention of the better world and the world that we want. And remember, all our thoughts, everything we've done, everything that's happened to us is in the etheric field. The etheric field is 99.9999997% conscious. This is where we get our aha moments when we meditate. When we leave this physical realm, this is where our energy and our memory of everything that we've gone through gets sent into our etheric field. It gets manifested in each new generation that gets born. Nothing is lost. And it's so vital and important, our existence here on earth, as flesh, as blood, as red-blooded men and women. We get to experience all our senses here, to taste, to smell, to make love, to swim in the ocean, to walk on the sand, to feel the dirt under our feet. There's stuff here on earth that we get to experience that we cannot experience in spirit, in the form of spirit. And that's why earth is so important. And we as earthlings are extremely important and really are the true treasure of this galaxy. To me, earth is the heart of the galaxy, and we are creations of love. And this is why violence is not a natural thing for us. It has been embedded in us. It has been forced upon us. We are not a species for violence. And even if we look back at true history, not his story, we can even see, I know even by my ancestors, they traveled the world, but they didn't force things on people. They didn't travel the world to kill each other. There was a time on this planet where we all got along with each other and we would share information and technology. We were interested. We didn't force it on anyone. So, this is being forced on us now. There's even articles from back when the cinemas first came out and when they started showing violence at the cinemas, even black and white back then. And there were people that were literally faint in the audience because it's just not something they were used to. So we have the evil running the planet, and they don't care about violence. They're happy for violence. They've got no empathy. They've got no understanding. And at the end of the day, it's not them pulling the trigger. It's the people. At the end of the day, they're funding the military industrial complex to create weapons to use against us, the people, not against themselves. They're not going to have to restrict anything. They're still going to fly around. They're going to still have their yachts. They're going to still eat whatever they want, but they don't want you eating from nature. They want you eating synthetic stuff. They want you to have synthetic, poison injected into your body. So we need to get real and honest and truthful about the agenda and what's happening. And we need to really face it. A lot of people don't want to face it. And they are the people that are just going along to get along. And then they're trying to justify to themselves why they are doing what they are doing, even though they know it's wrong and they don't want to do it. We have to face things that are uncomfortable. And then we can manifest the world we want, because we do have power in our visualizations, and we have power as a collective. And there's such extraordinary power when we're connected to divine consciousness. The universal energies are there waiting to help us. We didn't come here on our own. We may not be able to see them, may not be able to, feel that they're around, but they are around. And I know because the work that I do, I know because just experience life and being the observer of life, being the observer of people, because I'm always fascinated with human behavior. So let's remember just how powerful, magnificent we are. Let's remember that we are the treasure. We are precious. And this is why they want to take us. It is through our energy and our effort that even the evil running this world have gotten what they've got. It is through them allowing us to trick ourselves in believing their story and believing what they manifest that they've gotten to the power they are now. So let's take back our power and let's come together as a collective and let's start manifesting the world we want, and let's start throwing the truth on the table. Let's put the cards on the table and let's not shy away from that. Let's not shy away even from the truth that we need to face within ourselves. Let's not shy away from the fact that sometimes we are wrong, that sometimes we have anger, that sometimes we're confused, that sometimes we're feeling sad or lonely. Let's speak up and connect with people, because there will be people that can assist you in all that. So when we can face ourselves and face our own truths, then we can face the truth of the world. And then we can change the world. And even bringing it down to that, your little universe, your little world, you can change that every day. So looking after yourself, sitting in meditation, stretching your body, all of that is very healing. Connecting with divine consciousness, connecting with your inner essence, your higher self, connect with God, with Great Spirit, with Mother Earth. There's power in that. And you won't feel so alone. And all of this materialism, as beautiful as it is, you will be able to let go of it, because we don't take any of it with us. The only thing we take is our memories. So I pray that your memories are memories of, I stood up for what was right. I stood up to build a beautiful world and to protect this beautiful world, to protect Earth, not with lies, but with truth. That you stood up for the non-toxic solutions to be brought forward. We need to be planting hemp everywhere. Hemp can do everything that plastic does and better, because it's biodegradable. Our animals used to eat the hemp husks, so animals were healthy. So when we ate animals, we were eating healthy food. We weren't eating toxic food. We weren't eating food from animals that were eating, grains and toxic things. But you can be vegan, vegetarian too. Nothing wrong with that. It's great. Even then, though, you don't want toxic herbicides, pesticides, fungicides sprayed on your crops. There's natural ways to do it. We can see it with permaculture, food forests, people. There are some amazing people out there that have created amazing things. And I'm so inspired by those people. And maybe I can't do exactly what they do, but it's inspiring to know that they are. And it's inspiring to know that other people are watching what they're doing and they're building that. And that's how it all grows. So, guys, I think I'll leave it there for this podcast. I hope it all made sense, and how powerful visualization is, and that it can be used for good or bad. So let's continue to use it for good. And until next time, guys, follow your bliss, be in joy, and lots of love, love, love. Bye.